I was in the military at the time, and I had enough money to put into it.
Oh, thank you for your service,
Yeah,
man.
thank you.
From what branch?
Air Force.
Air Force?
Yeah.
Wow. So what's your MOS with Air Force?
I was a fire protection, built a
Fire
firefighter.
protection.
Yeah.
I know. We're so proud of you serving the country. But it's a very history.
Stockton.
All the way from
Yeah, I drove all the way from
Oh my God! Well, thank you so much, and continue this, and we're so proud of you.
Thank you very much.
Latino, Latino heritage.
Thank you.
That's it.
Hello, everyone. Hola. Buenos días, buenas noches, buenas tardes. Of course, we have to celebrate the Latino Heritage Month with our margarita. Mhm. Cheers! Welcome again to another Census Show episode. Well, I just want to welcome you, my online family and friends. I hope you're okay. Courtesy of PHLB Radio. Oh my God, isn't this amazing? I went to San Francisco. Last week, my guest was Roberto Hernandez. I invited us to a low riding show. And there were like 500 cars, you guys, in San Francisco. That was the very first time that they televised a low riding event. Because normally, you know how it is. It's always they always think it's connected to gang and all that, but it's not. They have to change that perspective. And it was, oh my God, so many amazing cars. I mean, colors, everything. And they have this low riding man that it can go up the air. I mean, they have like a $10,000. I have to find that video. It was I don't know who won the $10,000 because whoever can raise this car so high. And the last one that I saw was like, they were standing just like this, and it was like, whoo. Of course, there's no driver. It's all mechanical stuff. And it was, everybody was just screaming. I wish you guys would have seen it. It was unbelievable. As I mentioned, is a Latino or Hispanic Heritage Month, and it starts from September 15 to October 15. It's honoring the contributions of our Hispanic and Latino brothers and sisters and their communities to U.S. history and culture. It began as a week-long celebration in 1968 and was expanded to a month by President Reagan in 1988. The days coincide with Independence Days of several Central American countries. The terms Hispanic and Latino describe individuals with Latin American and Caribbean ancestry, but have different implications. Latino encompasses a broader range of identities, like Hispanic refers to those connected to Spain or the Spanish language. Key highlights of Hispanic Heritage Month include exhibitions like Corazon, Evita, showcasing lowrider culture. That's what we just showed you. The videos, we have so many videos, but of course I can't put everything. And events focusing on civil rights figures like Sylvia Mendez, who fought for the rights of Mexican Americans in education. Today, there are over 60 million Latinos in the United States, you guys, comprising 18.9% of the population and making significant contributions to various fields. So let's start off in order to showcase a lot of things that that relates to their heritage. Let's start off with the low riding culture. As I showed you the first video, it represents a vibrant blend of artistic expression and storytelling that reflects Mexican American and Chicano identity. I heard that it used to be it's a African American that started that trend, and then the Chicanos and everybody just kind of made it more popular. And also it was really one of the fascinating thing. I talked to Roberto Hernandez last week. I mean, people that really who has I mean, really, the fashion, those cars, they always get in trouble. They always get stopped with the police. And he was actually got in trouble 100 times because they always think that it's related to game, but they're not. It's like a club. They belong to a club, and exhibition explores 80 years of low riding history with a variety of artifacts, including pinstripe toolkit, car club, clothing, and trophies, alongside newly acquired photos and posters for Latina photographers. All of these are connected to the low riding population or low riding culture, and it's unbelievable. It's more like everybody should see it. I think they're gonna start doing this every single year. Now let's focus on Silvia Mendez and the struggle for Mexican American civil rights. In East Rotonda Gallery, what inspired her parents fought for when she was young, that she fought for the rights of all the Latinos in this country, and she was unbelievable. She's been like a figure that a lot of the Latinos really respect. So remember that name, Sylvia Mendez. She was when she tried to enroll in the majority white school near their home, they were instead sent to a segregated school for Hispanic students. The Mendez family filed a lawsuit arguing that segregating children based on ethnicity was a violation of the 14th Amendment, which is true. In the 60s, that was pretty tough, and of course, thank God that we kind of overcome that, but we overcame it. That's the right word. Overcame. But anyway, so we're just lucky all the children right now are all segregated. I hope we don't, I mean, we're all blend in, that's what I'm saying. We're not before that. We're also separated between black and white and Hispanic and all that stuff. So thank you for the civil rights movement, and then making history, building the National Museum of the American Latino also. The Smithsonian is working on building the National Museum of the American Latino in Washington, D.C. This museum honors the dreams, challenges, and triumphs of U.S. Latinos, elevating our stories within the national narrative. And they have a lot of exhibitions. You should check it out. The National Museum creates transformative experiences, foster a deeper understanding of American history and culture, and connects communities nationwide. And you can also donate. You should check out their website. And one of the exhibitions that I'm going to show you is Puro Ritmo, the musical journey of salsa. From the streets of Havana to the dance floors of New York City. Puro Ritmo explores how Afro-Cuban music evolved. In this bilingual exhibition traces salsa's roots and rise through nearly 300 objects, highlighting artists from Tino Puente and Celia Cruz to local legends and hidden pioneers. And then now, the most fun part, let's check out the traditional Hispanic food, which is what we know here in the United States and is so popular. The Hispanic cuisine has become increasingly popular among Americans, capturing our hearts and appearing in menus across the nation. I mean, I think the whole United States know about Hispanic food. I mean, we have Taco Bell everywhere. I think it's all over the United States, even in the Philippines. And the dishes like tacos, quesadillas, tres leches, cake, and margaritas. And that's our drink for tonight. I don't want to drink too much about it because I might not be able to read. Well, To pay homage to the diverse culture and heritage of Spain, well, Mexico, the Caribbean, Central America, and South America consider celebrating National Hispanic Heritage Month in the restaurant with some of their traditional Hispanic foods. And it's okay. Let's start off with tortilla, tortilla española. Tortilla española is a classic dish that is beloved throughout Spain. The name translates to Spanish tortilla, but you also hear the dish referred to as a Spanish omelet or potato omelet. No matter what it's called, the combination of eggs, potatoes, and onions is easy to prepare and can be served any time of the day. I'm going to check this out. It looks so delicious, though. A traditional tortilla española is made with a filling of thinly sliced potatoes and sautéed onions. Ooh, I'm giving you the recipes now, you guys. So pay attention. Involved by floppy beaten eggs. Our next one is empanadas. Empanadas are so popular, not just here in the United States, but in the Filipino culture. Because I will talk more about it, how we relate the Filipino culture and the Spanish culture because of the Spaniards that colonized the Philippines. But there will be a little bit about our history. Now let's talk about this empanadas. Empanadas are pastry shells stuffed with fillings and baked. Some of you probably knows what it is fried to golden perfection. This crescent-shaped hang pies can be filled with variety of savory. A friend of mine she puts like fruits in there, not just meat and potatoes and stuff. It's really how you want it. The Argentinian empanada are made with flour-based dough and filled with meats mixed with peppers, onions, or olives. But in Belize, empanadas are made with corn dough called masa and filled with beans, fish, or chicken. See, every country does make it different, and it's a very rounded food. You can put anything in it, and it's the crust that makes it really tasty. And our next one is tacos. So if you don't know about tacos, you really live in the rock, because, as I said, there's a lot of Taco Bells everywhere. But of course, Taco Bell makes it so Americanized, you know what I mean? But if you really need to go to an authentic place, like a Mexican restaurant or a Latino restaurant, tacos are beloved all over the world. And one of America's favorite comfort food, it's an authentic Mexican food, pressed soft shell corn tortillas, and you can put anything in it. They even have a breakfast tacos. You can actually put anything in it. The iconic street food can be fused into all types of cuisine for any menu. Serve traditionally varieties like tacos al pastor, marinated sliced pork. You can use pork, beef, fish, chicken, shrimp, all kinds. You can put grilled tuna. There's a grilled tuna. If you're a vegan, you can put any meatless in there. I mean, tacos is universal. You can, especially when you put avocado. Yum, 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 yum. Okay, now I'm getting happy. Now, paella. Paella is more of it's a traditional Spanish dish, and inspired the creation of Louisiana jambalaya, which can be found in Cajun and Creole styles. Especially in New Orleans. And if you go to LA, or I think I tried paella in LA and it was really, really good. Some people can make it right. Some of them, you really have to find a very authentic restaurant that will give you a traditional paella pan, And our next one is ceviche. Ceviche is a seafood dish that is popular in Peru, Ecuador, Mexico, and other Pacific coastal regions of Latin America, consisting of raw fish, citrus juice, chopped onions, salt, and cilantro. Ceviche is a refreshing, sweet, savory dish. The recipes, you can do anything. You can just put a fresh shrimp. I'm not sure if you can put lobster or something like that. I think that might change a little bit of the flavor. the form of a ceviche cocktail, which is popular in Mexico. Huele la vida is a well-known Veracruzan dish, which is a ceviche cocktail of oysters. Oh, you can put your oysters, octopus, fish, clams, and other available seafood. Oh, I just thought about that. I thought about the lobster. They didn't mention about lobster. Now our next one is flan. Now this is, if you go to Filipino parties and everything, you can really see a lot of, we call it leche plan, but in Spanish, they call it just flan. It's a custard with a gelatin-like consistency and may also go by the name cream caramel or pudim. It's a Portuguese style. Essentially, a baked custard flan is usually made of eggs, sweetened condensed milk, evaporated milk, vanilla extra, and sugar. You can really mix anything with it. It's almost the same recipe as the way the Filipinos does it, but they call it leche plan. That's where they got it from. And of course, the last one we're going to talk about is my drink. You cannot have a Latin celebration without margarita, without any drink. So I have to cheer to all my brothers and sisters, my Latino brothers and sisters, and Hispanic brothers and sisters. I hope you enjoy your Heritage Month. We have to highlight it because you contributed a lot in this country. Cheers to all of you. And after this, I will be back with you, my guests. See you later. Hi. I hope you enjoyed history about the Latin and Hispanic and all that. And you know why? Because even though we talk about the Philippine history, there is a connection to the Spanish culture. And my guest tonight has that blood. I think a lot of Filipinos have the Hispanic blood. And let me introduce to you this wonderful man. I've known this man for a very, very long time. I've known him since 1902? No, I'm just kidding. But then it shows really our age. No, Mr. Well, I'm not going to mention his name. He's the director of FinFit Insurance, health insurance, and also he's also a financial consultant. So please help me welcome Gabriel Gangayco. Hi, Kuya.
Hi, how are you? Sansu.
Hola. Because, it's a Hispanic thing.
Yes, yes. Well, tell you the truth, I'm third generation Spanish. So my grandparents came from Spain. So we're part of the Basque colony. So anyway.
The last name Gangayco, I hope I pronounce it right. Gangayco?
Gangayco. It's Chinese because of my grandparents. Oh, so they're also Spanish, but being influenced in Chinese and Spanish, supposed to be three generation Chinese. So it's Gangayco. That's what we were told.
Oh. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself, Kuya.
I don't propose, but I want to tell. Basically, I've been in finance for the longest time, ever since I was out of high school. I got my master's in finance and computer science, and now I'm into the real estate and insurance business. and enjoying myself, enjoying helping people, making sure that I can increase their wealth, and basically help them allocate when they're ready to retire, how I can help them in their retirement. So
Okay. So tell us a little bit what inspired you to be the director of both FinFit Financial and Intero Insurance.
well, Intero is the real estate company. FinFit Life is the life insurance. So I started off as a controller of a small company of like applied materials, and then I then decided to go into this financial services. So I basically got my brokerage license in real estate. And there I was helping people in investing their money and how to improve their wealth. And then in the later part, about 15 years, I decided to cover the protection, to help protect all the people that when they buy homes, I said, well, if something happens to them, I need to make sure that they're protected. So that's why I went in and joined into the insurance financial services. And I'm finding out that a lot of people doesn't fully understand what life insurance is about today because of the fact that there's now living benefits. And also when they're retiring, they don't know where to put their money. And so there's a lot of vehicles that we use in the life insurance industry.
Oh, okay. So FinFit is the life insurance industry, right?
That's correct. And we focus basically on life insurance. However, we are the only company that gives you credit, 15% discount on your premium if you stay healthy. By exercising and when you go to the doctor, you earn points. And then at that point, if you hit a certain level, then, we encourage people to walk 10,000 steps 3 times a week. And by doing that, it also improves your lifestyle and increases your life like 40%. There has been studies about that. So improve your life about 40%. So,
but let me understand this. 10,000 steps 3 times a week?
Yes. That's not very much. That's like a mile and a half or 2 miles. It's not very much. It sounds a lot, but it's, we walk more than you can think. And so we encourage them because by them walking 10,000 3 times a week, it reduces their diabetes, helps reduce propensity of being diabetic. Okay. You can lose weight fairly easily, and just basic health. Exercising is what makes your body stay younger and fit.
Oh, okay. But what can you do if you can't walk? I mean, if you get into that age that you have a hard time walking, what exercise can you recommend for them to stay healthy? Because if you're, some people, when they reach into that point, not everyone can be able to walk when they reach 60 or 70. What exercise can you recommend?
Well, they can do the cycling, doing the soul cycling. There's other ways of, you don't have to, if you have knee issues, then you can use the soul cycling, speed cycling and all that. The only thing I can think of, you can also do weights and all that to build your body and, get the energy. So.
So these are the requirements in order to bid into the insurance, or you don't have to?
You don't have to.
You don't have to.
They reward you for staying healthy. Between 5 to 15%, they discount your insurance premium. Your insurance premium. If you don't do your exercising and all that, then you pay your normal insurance premium. At the end of the year, you won't get the discount. So it's just because you may have the health, you may have the wealth, but if you don't have the health, then what good is your wealth, right? So our founder basically had issues with being heavy. He was very heavy, and his trainer said, you may be very wealthy, but if you don't have your health, what good is your what good is your money? And that's how he developed this business into FinFit Life, because we said, okay, we need to have not only financial security, we also need to be fit health wise. So that's why we're very excited about that program.
Do you have any trainers or any place that the people can go, especially the elderly, a place that you can recommend for them to go to exercise or to build their stamina? I mean, to keep it, whatever
Well,
the requirements are.
no, our group basically, they can come join our group, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and like once a month we do tracking. Um, go out hiking. Do a 5 mile hike. They also have a 5 mile walk, and so it's just a form of help, trying to think of ways to keep them healthy. Now, of course, there are certain maybe medical issues that we cannot work with. However, at that point, we have to talk to the physician recommendations, what type of exercises that they can have.
So when they join the insurance, do they have to have their medical records checked first before they can join, or they can join even though they have already how do you call this
Well,
already an illness or
basically, what we do is we fill out an application. If they decide to have a life insurance policy, we fill out the application, and then from there, it goes to underwriting, and then they look at the medical records. If they find something, then you may have to have a blood test to double check everything, and if they don't find anything, then within 30 days you have an insurance policy. Now you maintain that policy. Of course, having life insurance is for life, right?
Yes.
So if you want to reduce your premium, then we encourage you, okay, let's see, now that you have a policy, let's see how we can make you healthy. Okay. In addition to that, our insurance policy they have the critical illness, and then the terminal illness, and then the long-term care. So at any point in time, any of those that happens, say you get injured, you get a heart attack or stroke, then you automatically get paid 25% of the policy. Okay, but still maintain the death benefit of the policy. So it kind of helps out in your process as far as reduce the financial burden when people get injured and they don't have to work.
Okay, so this is primarily geared to a lot of retirees, or what is the normal age that people really join the life insurance to get a life insurance? Is it in their 30s, 40s?
No, the minimum age is 18, okay, and it's up to the age of 80, okay. So of course, the younger you are, the cheaper your insurance policy is. For example, on a 21-year-old individual, they can get a $500,000 policy only paying $100 or $150 a month, or if they want to make that as a retirement, they can increase the premium. Okay, so that way in 15 to 20 years, they already have cash value that they can use to, like, say, buy a house or put a down payment on a house, and and in some cases, what I've done in the past, especially with individual that has their own businesses, I've done what they call executive bonus. And what happens is the individual, the company pays for the policy. The individual owns the policy. So in 15 years, in this particular case, the one I did was $5,000 a month. In 15 years, he would have had a $1.2 million tax-free. And
wow.
And he will never put any money against it, because his company is paying for his insurance policy and is also paying for the tax. So it's a tax expense on the company, and retirement income for the individual. So it's a win-win situation. So they call that bonus.
Wow. So you're actually, it's not just an insurance, but it's also a saving. A
It's a
saving.
definitely a savings. Here's a good example of another type of insurance. Okay, when an individual is retiring, okay, I have an individual who basically has funds of retirement fund 401k of 375,000, and I said, okay, if you put it into a annuity, and then in 3 years you'll be able to take out $41,000 a year for life until you die. So normally after 8 years, that 375 would have been used up. But if she exceeds 8 years, then she'll still continue receiving the $41,000 a year. That's an added income to her normal Social Security. So a normal individual would normally get like 2,500, or with 41,000, that's another $3,500 a month. So, which gives them almost $6,000 a month income. Where do you get that for life?
Wow. Amazing. I never heard of this. Wow, this is the first. FinFit it really states right there that it's an incentive for you to stay healthy. And as you said, to stay healthy, you earn more and to live longer. And by living longer, you have more money to spend because you're living longer. Because you're safe.
Exactly. Depending on the type of product that you have, in the insurance policies, a lot of especially wealthy clients, they use the insurance policy as a leverage. For example, there's a estate planning to where you're only allowed $13 million estate tax exemption. Anything in excess of that, you have to pay taxes on. So what we've done in the past is we have very wealthy families, if they want to keep their money intact, then we calculate how much the tax they'll have to pay in excess of the 13.9 million. Then we basically get an insurance policy to cover that, so it will pay for the taxes. So rather than paying 50% on the extra tax, they will only pay like $100,000 for the policy itself until you die. So there's also a debt reduction program that we have, that we use the actually insurances. It basically helps eliminate the debt by paying your mortgage, your credit cards, and all that. So we do have that type of program that I'm not very sure if people really know how it works. But if you're always heavily in debt and all that stuff, and you really want to get out of debt, then we can show you a program to where you're insured as well as start reducing your debts. So
wow. Wow, that's amazing. Where did people can learn more about this insurance? I mean, can they go to a training, a workshop? How can we?
Well, they can call me.
Our viewers out there.
Yeah, they can call me, and then we do have a office in Santa Clara that they can call me, and then I'll make sure and I'll show them our whole process, our program, and and then if they need help, I'll be more than happy to go to their homes and give them a financial seminar to help them out and see where they're at as far as their finances is concerned, and where they want as far as retirement is concerned.
So, what is the website that they can go and check it out?
Well, you can go www.finfitlife.com. That's the website, basically.
And then very easy. FinFit Life. FinFitLife.org or .com?
.com.
FinFitLife.com. And they can check all this information that you just mentioned. And then there's different locations, but your location is in Santa Clara.
In Santa Clara, yes. So That's our corporate office. Okay. We also have Spanish groups that if they want a Spanish individual agent, we can provide them with that as far as that's concerned. And also they're located in Santa Clara. So we're pretty much, we can practice all over the United States. And with the exception of Alaska and New York, we have to have a added special license to work in that area. But we go anywhere in the United States. We can help them out. And they can call me or email me.
Yes. And your name is on the website, right, Kuya?
No, that is the main. Oh. No, each one of us, each agent have their own website. Okay. Mine is Gabe G2757 at ffl@gmail.com. And they can just send me an email and then I'll talk to them.
Can you say that slowly, Gabe?
Oh, I'm sorry. You can contact me at email me at Gabe GABEG 2757 ffl@gmail.com.
At fl@gmail.com.
Okay. Fit Life, ffl@gmail.com. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We also help. Yeah, we also help contractors, for example, where we have Infinity Banking. Basically, the program basically goes to where they go ahead and buy a life insurance policy. They, again, overfund it up to what's required through MAC, and then where they can actually extract the funds out of it and then borrow against it. And then once the deal is done, they can always pay it back. And so that's what they call infinite. So it helps reduce, like, say, if you need a bridge loan, if you need, you get a lower interest rate, because when you borrow money in a life insurance policy, it's normally between 4 to 5% versus your traditional consumer loan, which is 7 to 8%, even 11%.
Wow. That is amazing, Gabe. That's a very good information, because a lot of our viewers out there, they probably never heard of FinFit life insurance, because they always hear about life insurance. It's a normal thing, right? It's everywhere's life. It's called life insurance. But a FinFit, which is, there's so many categories. There's so many things that you can do, not just having a life, your life is being protected, but also being healthy and learn more about savings. Oh my Lord. Thank you so much for that information. But let's go to your real estate, because how can you balance that? How the unique challenges you have to face by leading two different organizations. How do you balance that? Or do you even go to sleep?
Well, real estate is basically, it's one-on-one type activity, right? So yes. In my case, I don't do real estate full time. I do it to where it's I work after, I'd say I'd spend about 5 hours to 10 hours a week on the real estate. And, my goal is just to have one transaction every month. And being in California, as you know, the commission on an insurance on the real estate is fairly high. So I don't really need, most of my clients are basically old clients that I've worked with in the past, and they trust me a lot. And so I don't look for clients. So I'm more focused in the insurance side at this point, because as far as real estate, when I sell a real estate and they're young kids and all that, I automatically say, okay, you need to have a life insurance. So that way, if you get hurt, that life insurance is going to help you pay for the mortgage. And so that way, because most of our individuals will not pay more than 20% down payment or 5% down payment. Well, with that, you pay what they call private mortgage insurance, which is an insurance for the bank, not for you. So if anything happens to you, the bank gets paid, but you still lose the house. On the other hand, if you have your own like a term insurance. So in that particular case, then you get paid. Okay, your family gets the benefit of your life insurance. So there are basically several different type of insurance, but the ones that I focus on is the term insurance, which is basically it's like renting, and there's a time frame of 30 years. Okay, then the other one is IUL, Index Universal Life, which is where you do your investments, where you have growth in your investments. So those are the two types that we use. So
Okay. So for the real estate, is it a buyer's or is it a seller's right now? Which one is better right now? Is it better to sell, or for the buyers it's a buyer's how do you call this one? Are they more
well,
market, the buyer's market or the seller's market?
inventory is still low as far as that's concerned. What's happening is people. It is a seller's market to the point where there are people buying. However, the problem is there's not enough buyers because interest rates are too high. They're right now
lower. Isn't it? It went lower recently.
Well, that it does, but it doesn't automatically affect the mortgage right away. So it's between, before we had 2%, right? Now we were looking at 6 to 7%. So that's a huge difference, and which has a big impact on the mortgage payments. So like a $300,000 loan, you can be paying about $4,000 a month. That's with property tax and insurance and all that. So a lot of people can afford that. So now when people ask me, well, Gabe, when is the best time to buy a house? I always tell them, buy a house when you can afford it. And the reason for that is if the interest goes up or goes down, you can always refinance your loan. Okay, but at least you have a house now. Okay, people that are saying, oh, interest rates are too high, and I said, well, yeah, but then if it goes down, then the price of the house goes up, then they're now looking for more money to fund the house for the down payment, right? So it's a catch-22. So the best thing to do is you buy it when you can afford it. So
it's a very good advice. I mean, you can afford the mortgage every month, and that's the time to buy a house, especially in California. I mean, especially in California, it's so expensive. San Francisco alone is, I mean, the prices of the houses, even the people that rent there, it's like $5,000.
Exactly.
I don't know how they can afford it.
Exactly.
$6,000 a month. I don't understand it. I just don't understand how they can afford it, but my God. So what advice can you, I know you already give us an advice about, wait until if you can afford it. What other advice that you can give to our viewers out there, besides the life insurance and also for the real estate? What other advice that you?
Well, my suggestion is, like, for example, all of us basically, if you work for a company, you have what they call a 401k. They put money on a 401k. And what happens is that 401k becomes really a 201k, right? Because as you retire, 50% of that or 40% of that will go to Uncle Sam. So you're not really saving a lot. So you're basically saving for Uncle Sam. So my advice is go get a 401k that the company matches up to what amount the company matches. And then if you still have extra money, go get an Index Universal Life. And because with that, you've now leveraged your money to where if you get hurt, you get terminal illness and all that, you've now leveraged and secured some money for your loved ones. Okay. And not only that, if you stay healthy for a long time, your value goes up and it becomes a retirement for you in the future.
Wow.
So
much. Thank you so much, Gabe. This is a very, very good information to our online family and friends out there. Would you like to give a shout out to any of your family and friends?
I'm sorry.
Want to give a shout out to your
Oh,
family and friends?
yeah.
People in the Philippines, or
Yeah. No, all my family is here, and they're all listening. And so, yeah, my sister in Manteca, and my sister in well, in San Jose. So this is the first time I went to a podcast. So I said, oh, okay, this is exciting.
you. And it's very educational at the same time, and I know a lot of people appreciate your information. And I hope you will give you a call or you will go to your main office because it's a very important thing that we need right now.
Hmm.
And the FinFit is really perfect for because a lot of people are pretty much needed all that fitness, needed advice. How can they save and at the same time stay healthy? Well, thank you so much, Gabe. I appreciate you, even though it was a last minute thing, but
Yeah.
thank you for accepting
Tell
my
them,
invitation.
tell them that they can call me at 408-899-1790.
Oh,
Okay?
repeat again. 408.
408-899-1790. Call me anytime.
Yeah, and they can email you to Gabe G.
2757
2027 and
FL, FinFit Live, FFL at gmail.com.
gmail.com. Okay. Okay. And hopefully they're listening and watching and paying attention so that you can get hold of you. God bless
Yeah.
you. I can't wait to
Thank you
see you
very
again
much.
in person and join some of your workshops to learn more about your insurance thing. Because I probably need that. I know I'm only 25, but I probably need Thank you, Gabe. God bless
Okay.
you. See you
Okay.
soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi. Oh, guys, what an informative segment that we had. Thank you so much, Gabriel Gangayco. Gangayco, is how you pronounce it. And I would just appreciate it. And I hope you guys really learn about health wise and real estate. And there was a very good advice about that, don't buy anything if you can't afford it, because it's really going to put you into a big trouble. You don't want your house to be taken away and you just had it in a year. Okay. Now let's talk about the history in why that there's a connection between the Spaniards, the Spanish culture, and the Filipino culture. The Spaniards in the Philippines have significant historical presence dating back to 1500s when Spanish colonization began. The first Spanish settlement was established in Cebu in 1565 by Miguel Lopez de Legazpi, marking the start of the Spanish colonial period, which lasted for over 300 years. During this time, Spaniards constructed fortifications for protection against local and foreign threats, which included various structures like fortresses and watchtowers. Actually, the Spaniards came after the Itas, because what I mentioned before is the Itas are the very first people that discovered the Philippine Islands. And then Lapu-Lapu came, and now the Spaniards. That's why Filipinos are so mixed, and before also when I went to school in the Philippines, they teach you how to speak Spanish in school. I'm not sure it is required now nowadays, but in my generation, they teach us Spanish and English at the same time. The Spanish settlers were originally referred to as Filipinos, and their culture influence remains evident in Filipino society today. That's why our food that I mentioned a while ago, like the leche plan and empanadas and all that, those are really was introduced in the Philippines by the Spaniards. According to Britannica, Spaniards established. That's what according to Britannica, but I should have said about thank you, Britannica, in the beginning. Ferdinand Magellan, arrival in 1521, initiated Spanish interest in the archipelago, cultivating the establishment of Manila in 1571. Spanish rule involved using a tax farming system called Incompiniada, which faced criticism for abusive treatment of locals, which is really, there was slavery in some part in the Philippines. If you can use the word slavery, the Spaniards were really ruling the country. And because of the Spaniards, they introduced to us the Santo Nino statue. Each year, Santo Nino is a very popular celebration in the Philippines. Magellan actually brought that in the Philippines. And the original Santo Nino is in Cebu. So if you want to go to the Philippines, travel to Cebu, and you will see and just ask where the church where the original Santo Nino statue is, and they will show you. Oh, it's so miraculous, very miraculous. Because in April 14, 1521, Portuguese explorer, as I mentioned, Ferdinand Magellan gave Santo Nino holy. It's called Santo Nino because it's a baby Jesus. I always get that question, like, oh, why do you always have to pray to Santo Nino? It's just a baby Jesus. If you pray to Jesus, it's the same thing. It's just the baby version. That's why it's called Nino. So I always have to explain that because they always think it's a different message. No, it's the same. It's just a baby Jesus. And they always have a sinologue. It's about the Santo Nino thing in January. Oh my God, that celebration is unbelievable. The costumes and everything. Whoa, you need to really go to the Philippines in January, you guys. I'm inviting you. St. John Paul II recalled the history when celebrating a mass of families in Cebu City. So don't step Cebu. Step out Cebu. Even celebrate the Santo Nino feast, and he visited the Philippines on January 18, 2015. It's a special joy to celebrate Santo Nino every Sunday. I'm not sure if they have a specific church here that's just for Santo Nino. It's a holy child Jesus accompanied the spread of the gospel in the Philippines and everywhere else. And they brought it here in the United States. That's why a lot of Filipinos here in the United States celebrate the Santo Nino feast. And that's what the connection of my Mama Liling. My Mama Liling is half Spanish, half Filipina. She's the mother of my mother, my Lola. I always call her Mama. And that's why there's a connection. That's why I have to introduce to you my grandma, because this is a Hispanic month, and there is really a connection. That's why I look mestiza. Don't argue with that. I always call myself mestiza. But if you took a family picture, you can see, light, dark, light, medium, dark. And this is where I come out. They're mestiza, just my mom. And she was pregnant with me. She was, craving with all the dark stuff like burn, eggplant, and all this dark fruits in the Philippines. Thanks, Mom. I'm the only different. Well, because of my grandfather. My grandfather is Jamaican, and that's where I got it from. I got his side of the story. So there you go. My grandmother, actually, because of her Spanish heritage, that's why she's one of the tallest Filipinas in her generation. She was 5'9". Could you imagine that? A Filipina at that age. At that era. She was 5'9". She was a very tall woman, beautiful woman. Beautiful. And she raised me, until unfortunately she died. So, Ma, wherever you are in heaven, love you, love you, love you. And of course, her daughter, my mom, Miss Elizabeth Ramsey. So, before I go on, I would like to introduce to you my mom, because since it's a Spanish, so I want to show you my mom's rendition of a Spanish song. Bésame mucho. So check it out.
Hold me, my darling.
I hope you enjoyed my mom singing. You know how she's amazing, right? She is just so funny, and I hope that you have some of you that probably witnessed her show. She was just an unbelievable performer, and I miss you, Ma. And I want to continue your legacy, and I hope you behave yourself over there, right? Because you love to cook and you have to eat your bagoong and toyo. Jesus is probably gonna say, "What is that smell?" It must be Elizabeth again cooking tuyo and bagoong. But I just want to thank you so much, you guys, for being with me this week and every week. And pretty soon we're gonna do a live show too, and it's gonna be interesting. And I'm gonna keep you posted on that. It's gonna be live at King Phillips Barbecue and Grill Restaurant in Hayward, and it's we're working on it, and you will surprise. There will be prizes, there will be contests and singing and all that stuff. We're gonna make it exciting. And thank you for all your advice, you guys, and thank you for sticking by with me every week. And I leave you this a little prayer in Spanish, and I'll translate in English. Señor Jesucristo, Hijo de Dios, ten piedad de mí, que soy un pecador. Amen. It means, Lord Jesus Christ, Son of God, have mercy on us, on me, a sinner. Amen. So thank you, everyone. Courtesy to PHLB Radio, Viva Las Vegas, and our director, Johan Sison. Love you, my online family and friends. See you soon. Love, peace, and joy. Bye.
You, Sansu